Hey guys, it's Jessica from Peace Love Books, and today I'm here with a really exciting video that I have been dying to do ever since I did my first tier ranking video, and that is ranking all of the old school historical romances I've read so far since 2020. So I chose 2020 because that's the year I really dove into old school historicals, and how I classify old school historical romances are ones published before the year 2000. I have read about 32 of them, so I have compiled all of them and I'm going to rank them on this ranking system I have. So the first one is God tier. That means this is like an all-time favorite historical romance of mine. I'm obsessed with it. I love it. It's a classic. Should be considered a classic. Everybody should read it. Then I really liked it. So this is just a historical romance that's not necessarily an absolute favorite, but I enjoyed it. Then we have absolutely bonkers. So that means that this plot was bonkers. It was crazy. So many things were happening, and it's not necessarily like a super favorite, but I was so entertained and I really liked it for the entertainment value, which I can name a few right now. But then we have Forgettable. So this is just like, it was fine. This is one that I probably gave 3 stars or less. I just didn't really super care for it, but it was not awful. Because then we have Awful. These are the ones that are like really bad. They have really bad consent issues. I just was not a fan. Maybe I don't even think I used the ones I DNF'd on this list either, but maybe I wanted to DNF it, or I was reading it for my book club and had to finish it. So I'm excited to get to these. I love historical romances. I love old school historicals. I want to read so many more this year. I am wearing my Clinch sweatshirt that Sarah from Romantically Swept Away had done. I don't know if they're still in stock, but I will go ahead and link it down below. Sarah was doing another round of orders pretty recently, so I will link it down below, but I love it. And I will go ahead and get to the tier ranking. So let me go ahead and put my screen record on. Okay, so the first one I am really sad is the first one, because this is by an author that I absolutely love, but this is one that I did not absolutely love. I am going to put, this is The Taming of Jessie Rose. This one I didn't love. This one was just okay. I feel like the plot was pretty boring compared to her other books. So this one I put under Forgettable. I honestly can't even tell you anything that happened beyond she was on the roof of her house and was like gonna shoot him for trespassing, and that she's taking care of like a niece or nephew. That's all I really know. I did not love this one from her, but there are more to come, let me tell you. I love Beverly Jenkins still. The Secret has to go under God tier. I absolutely love The Secret so much. It is such a good Highlander romance with the Laird of a Clan, and I'm just literally obsessed with this book. I'm obsessed with Julia Garwood, though another one on this list is one I didn't like, which is really sad. But I really love The Secret. Just so good. She is British and goes up to Scotland, and it's just amazing. Then we have A Moment in Time by Bertrand Small, which I am gonna add this one to absolutely bonkers. It wasn't the most bonkers book I've ever read, but Bertrand Small has some crazy books, and this one just went so many places, and it was definitely very entertaining, but I can't say I liked it. This is one where we talked about in my book club, what do we rate this? Because I had a good time reading it, but I got really frustrated a lot of the time. This one, I believe, like, was just very weird plot-wise, and then it wasn't really resolved in the end, because they're like, I think this one was they're like destined to be together, and like so much happened, and the heroine got kidnapped a bunch of times. The hero and heroine were like rarely together, but I enjoyed it for what it was, so I'm putting that in bonkers. Then we have Someone to Watch Over Me, which this is Lisa Kleypas. I think this is one of the only Lisa Kleypas old school ones that I have on this list that is from pre-2000, but I'm gonna put this under really liked it. I don't know if this is necessarily a favorite. This one's an amnesia romance though. She is a courtesan and he works for Bow Street. It's in the Bow Street Runners series, and I just really liked it. It wasn't a favorite, but I really liked it. Then A Knight in Shining Armor, I have to put in absolutely bonkers. This one, I'm just like, what are you thinking when you're writing these books? Because the first half was a little boring, but once like we got the time travel aspect, because he is a knight and he time travels to her time, and she has like an awful relationship, but I hated the way that they wrote her boyfriend's daughter. Like, it was just like they were very over the top. And then when she like went back in time, things went crazy. So this one was very entertaining. I won't say it's a favorite, but I won't say I didn't like it. It was just absolutely bonkers. It was just a fun time. Saving Grace is one that's unforgettable. This one is a Julie Garwood one that I was very bored in, and I don't remember much about the plot. That's why I call this one forgettable, because I'm like, what actually happened in this book? I can't even tell you what happened in this one. I was just very bored. Oh yeah, This one, nothing happened. I was very bored. Okay, so then Indigo, Beverly Jenkins, this is one. There are 2 Beverly Jenkins that are going to go in this category. It is definitely God tier. Indigo is so good. We have Hester and Galen. She works for the Underground Railroad and he is kind of like a spy, and there is a like caretaking scene. She cares for him. I remember the bathtub scene. It's just like so good. Like one of Beverly Jenkins' most iconic books. Loved it. You need to read it if you haven't yet. Kingdom of Dreams. I don't know if I would put this in God tier. I don't know. I really liked it, but I did have some issues with the pacing at the end. But this one is a classic medieval historical, and he kidnaps her in order to get retaliation, I think, against her father, and she tries to run away. There is animal death in here though, which made me really sad when I read it, but I found this one very entertaining. I liked it. It wasn't absolutely bonkers and it wasn't a God tier, so it's going under really liked it. Texas Destiny is also going under really liked it. I had so much fun with this cowboy romance, and it is one we read for Historical Hellions, and I was worried because I don't really love westerns, but it was so good. Our hero is scarred, and he was in the Civil War, and his father died, and he feels like it was his fault, and his brother, who's super successful and good looking, is sending him to fetch his mail order bride. So he brings her home, and they have like a 3-week trip they have to go on together, and they fall in love, even though she's supposed to marry his brother. I love a good love triangle, especially when it's between brothers, so I love this one. Love Only Once, I think, is going to go under God tier. I loved this Joanna Lindsey so much, and it reminded me a lot of The Viscount Who Loved Me by Julia Quinn. This one, our hero, I really love this series. So our hero, he has a mistress who's making him annoyed, so he decides to teach her a lesson and kidnap her, but our heroine had borrowed his mistress's carriage, and she's in it instead, and he accidentally kidnaps her, and she has a bunch of relatives that are just like so overprotective and amazing, and it's like their books throughout the series too. So it's the Mallory Anderson series. I really liked it. Midnight Moon was okay. This one is forgettable. I was really excited because it is a like ship romance, because like you can see on the cover that they are on a ship. I don't know if you can tell on there, but they are. But I feel like the plot was really slow, and it's just like a very sweet, wholesome historical, and that's not what I want in my old school historicals. I want like all-consuming passion and like so much more to the plot. So this one was a little forgettable to me. Ice and Rapture is one that's definitely going to go under absolutely bonkers. This one is like in Alaska as part of the gold rush, and our heroine is a journalist going there, and our hero, I think they like, oh, they run into each other because he's like running from the law, and he like jumps into her bedroom, and then they end up traveling together and falling in love, and it's so crazy, like so fast paced. They almost die a bunch of times. He gets like trapped because it's Alaska. You can only go in certain times of the month, and then you're trapped there, and then you wait like months during, I think, the winter until everything like clears up again. You can come back. It was very entertaining. I had a lot of fun reading it. I wouldn't say it's a favorite, but like so much happened. Desire by Amanda Quick is one that's super forgettable. This one was so boring. I feel like it was like a island that they owned called Desire, and something happened and this guy came in. Again, I can't even remember the plot. And so I feel like these are just specifically so perfect for this category because I remember being bored, and that's all I remember when reading these, especially Desire. I was so excited though because Ravish was just going to come up soon. I absolutely loved, but my second Amanda Quick was a miss. Hearts of Flame would have been in God tier if I haven't read more. This was actually the very first historical old school romance that I've ever read, and it was for Historical Romance Readathon I hosted with Lisa and Lacey, but this one is really good. I don't know if I'd love it as much now if I reread it, especially since I've read more, but he kidnaps her because she is like from a family of Vikings, and she stows away because she thinks they're going on a supply run and she wants to see the world and see men that aren't like from her clan, and her brothers are actually going on a raid and they get caught, which means she gets caught, and the guy figures out she's a woman and kidnaps her for himself, which I love those kinds of romances. Joanna Lindsey just writes a really good captor-captive romance, and I like it. Once and Always was awful. I know Samantha from Books with Samantha has her thing with Judith McNaught. She hates everything she writes. I will say, where is it? Kingdom of Dreams is like the only Judith McNaught I've read and loved. Once and Always, I don't even remember what happened in this book. I just remember really hating it. I do remember, I'm pretty sure there is explicit non-consent scenes, and it wasn't cool, so didn't like it. Untamed, I don't remember how I felt about this. I think I'm gonna put it in forgettable. I don't think it was like awful like Once and Always was. It was medieval, and that's all I remember. I feel bad not remembering the plots of these books, but I'm just like, I don't remember what happened in you, so you're just gonna go in there. Okay, so Silver and Sapphires, I believe, was the one. I read this for my reading books from my birth year video I did with a bunch of other booktubers, so I read this from 1993. I really, really love this one. I don't know if I would necessarily say it's an all-time God tier favorite, but I remember it being so fun. I think like she is in charge of these like jewels that this hero wants because his family is cursed because they stole them or something, and then he ends up like kidnapping her or something, and like it's like a lot. I would put it in absolutely bonkers, but I actually like really liked it because it was like such a crazy plot and such a good romance, so I'm putting in really liked it. It has a really interesting and super fun plot, but I believe that the author for this one republish it under a different name and cut stuff out, so, or like the title's different and republish it on ebooks. So if you want to read it, make sure you get the original paperback because I had a fun time. This is Shelley Thacker and I'm excited to read more from her. Flowers from the Storm I really, really liked. This one was another classic that I read for historical Hellions, and this one, the hero suffers a stroke and the heroine takes over taking care of him because he's initially put into an insane asylum and treated so poorly. I really liked the heroine taking her time and trying to see what he was capable of and him being able to communicate and live again. It was just really, really good. I really liked it. Then came You as a God tier. I absolutely love this one by Lisa Kleypas. This one, I guess, is the other one that I've read that came out before 2000. This one is so good. I love the hero and heroine, how much they clash. This one actually comes before Dreaming of You, which I know everybody loves. I enjoy that one too, but I don't remember what year that was published. I don't think it was published before 2000, but this one, they hate each other. The hero detests her, but he's courting her sister, and then they fall in love even though he hates her because she just doesn't care about society at all, and it was really, really, really good. Night Song, another, okay, we're gonna have some God tiers in a row. We have Night Song, which was absolutely amazing. This one, our heroine is a school teacher and she doesn't trust any soldiers at all because they did kill her loved one. I don't remember their relation, but she saw them kill her loved one, so she does not trust them, and our hero is actually a soldier, and it's really, really, really good. Beverly Jenkins writes such sweeping, amazing romances. I have had the opportunity to interview her, which was literally like achievement of a lifetime, experience of a lifetime. It was magical. I will link that down below if you want to check out my interview with her. She is a gem and absolutely amazing, and I died being able to talk to her. Ravish by Amanda Quick is also a God tier. This one is so good, so amazing. Our heroine, she is into fossils, and our hero has a reputation because people think he killed his fiance, and they have to have a marriage convenience because they get ruined together, and the heroine is just so protective of him, and I loved it, and I just love the romance so much. Like this one, I had so much fun reading. I need to read more of Amanda Quick's amazing books. I just picked up one that wasn't that good. That's okay, but I'm excited to read more of her backlist. Lord of Scoundrels I really liked. I read it when I was pretty new to old school historicals, so I didn't like love it, but I enjoyed it. I remember the heroine's name is Jessica, and I remember the hero was getting her brother in trouble, so she like really stood up to him, and they really clash, which is something I really like in historicals, when the heroine's super strong and doesn't like take crap from the hero. She really stands up to him and they butt heads, so that one was a lot of fun. Night Secrets, I really love this one as well. It takes place on a ship. The heroine stows, I believe she like sneaks away on his ship, and then he realizes it and he freaks out, but then they slowly fall for each other, but then someone's sabotaging the hero and he gets into a really bad accident and loses the ability to use his legs, and she really helps him come to terms with his life and his future and his abilities to walk or not, and I don't want to spoil anything, but it was just so good. I really liked this. The romance was amazing in here. Shanna, you know I have to put in absolutely bonkers. This book was bonkers. Oh my gosh. I don't even know if I love it or hate it. I could not decide if I love this or hate this, but it was crazy. I had a fun time though. She self-sabotaged so much and caused the hero to go through so much, and the premise of this is actually that she wants to get married so she doesn't have to get married, so she gets married to someone she thinks is on death row and thinking he'll die soon so she can be a widow and do whatever she wants and not have to listen to her dad, and something happens where he doesn't actually die. So it's so fun, but like I said, Shanna's very, very frustrating. A Rose at Midnight, I would say is forgettable. I remember I think I gave this one 3 stars. I don't remember too much about the plot. I really wanted to like it because the premise sounded really good because I think one of them kidnaps the other. It was. But then we kept on getting this plot of the other couple going after them and I was like, I don't care about these people. Give me the main couple. And so I just like didn't love it as much as I wanted to. So it's gonna go unforgettable because I do know it was a 3-star read. Splendid I really liked it. This one was super sweet as well. I don't remember too much about this plot, but I do remember really liking it. And I remember being really excited about the other characters in here. So I'm putting it under really liked it, even though off the top of my head, I think if I read the synopsis, it would definitely come back to me, but I really did like this one. And Devil's Bride, I really enjoyed as well. This one is just your typical super macho, overbearing hero saying, you're gonna be my woman. So they meet because someone dies in front of the heroine looking for the hero, and the hero comes across them, and they have to hide out in a house together with this dead body. And her reputation's ruined because they spent the night together alone because the dead body doesn't count. And he is already like, you're amazing, I want to marry you. So it was really fun. I really liked it. And he definitely is someone who's like, touch her and you die. I will break down doors for her. I love that. I love that part. I vividly remember the end scene where he literally broke down a door to save her. It was so good. A Gentle Feuding, I actually had a lot of fun with because the heroine is like kidnapped a bunch and the hero is like obsessed with her. And it's really fun because his brother actually kidnaps her. And then she's terrified of the hero because she heard him saying he would just abuse his wife if he married her, but he was really saying that because he was angry and he was not serious at all. He was trying to throw off the guy trying to kidnap him, so the heroine's terrified of him, but he's not a terrible person, and it was a really fun romance. A Pirate's Love was awful. I could not stand this book. The entirety of the book was non-consent, and any consensual scene was skipped over. And I was like, why do we have to see the non-consent scenes over and over again? It is a pirate romance. This is a Joanna Lindsay I would skip. A Pirate's Pleasure, I really want to put though, like I don't think it was God tier and I really liked it, but this plot is absolutely bonkers. So all of these I really liked, but this is the one that's like in between really liked and bonkers because so much happened in this plot. She's kidnapped by pirates and then she's let go and she's supposed to go marry this guy, but then she's like, but I kind of love the pirate I'm supposed to like not like who actually kidnapped me, even though I like my fiance and I'm gonna get married. It was a lot of fun. I had so much fun with this book, but the plot was bonkers, which made it so much fun. So this one's in here, but it's one that was actually almost God tier. Like I really loved this book. That I bought the rest of the series because I'm excited to get to it. And A Gentle Rogue I'm putting under really liked it. I had a lot of fun with this one. This one was one of the first ones that I read because I really love pirate romances, and people told me to read this one as a pirate romance. She actually does dress up as a boy and he knows she's a woman. He doesn't tell her he knows she's a woman, and so he makes her his cabin boy and makes her do stuff for him knowing who she is, and I remember it being a lot of fun. I really liked it as my second Joanna Lindsay, because I think Hearts of Flame was my first, but I think that was my second Joanna Lindsay. I had a lot of fun reading. It wasn't my favorite in the series. This one's book 3, I believe, in the Mallory Anderson, but Love Only Once is book 1, and Love Only Once is the best of the series so far. So those are all of the old school historicals I've read. As you see, I've read so many that I've really liked, so I really want to continue reading them. I have so much fun reading the old school, just sweeping romances. I do want to do a video reading actual bodice rippers, so like the Flame and the Flower and Whitney My Love and some Christine Monson. Like there are so many authors I want to get to, and I need to read Megan McKinney. I have like so many that I own that I haven't read yet that have gorgeous covers that are definitely at the top of my TBR. So let me know what authors you want me to try out. Let me know if you've read any old school historical romances and where they fall for you. And if you enjoyed this video, I'd love to hear your opinions on all the books that I did tier rank. I hope you enjoyed, and that's all I have. That was so much fun to do. Maybe I'll do this like in a year again if I read a lot more like is on my list. We'll see. As always, thank you so much for watching and have a good day. Bye.